Jack, describe the range of emotions that you had throughout the game leading up to the winning field goal.
I mean, I felt good in practice all week, and however it happens, it just didn't translate towards in the game. And you just got to try to not let yourself get down at all, even though you're not doing well, stuff like that. But just stay up. Know that. I mean, Fitz was telling me the whole game, you're going to be coming up big for us at the end of the game. Like, people are coming up to me, just like, keep your head in it. But yeah, just try to stay as focused and calm as possible.
Also for Jack, you've made a lot of clutch kicks at the end of games over the last year and change. Does anything change about your process when it gets to the last few minutes of a game?
Well, I'd say that the Notre Dame game, I'm sure that's what you're talking about, was a lot of good practice. And just with that under my belt, I feel like this was not as big of a moment. Like, those two were bigger, and that just like really helped me stay focused, like having that mental attitude and like just having doing that before. Yes.
Zach, so you come in and you go up 20-7 at halftime, but then the offense sort of starts to sputter in the second half, and you throw the interception. Was there ever any feeling in this second half that was similar to what you got in the Illinois game last year?
No, not really. It was a different game, different scenarios. Honestly, just went at halftime. We made our game plan changes, and I mean, for whatever reason, just wasn't clicking. I probably, a lot of that was on me. Could have made some better throws. Could have thrown the ball away. I was hot a couple times that I missed. But in the end, we came back and we found a way to make a big play.
And what did you see on the throw to Carr on the final drive? What did the defense show you?
Yeah, so they were in a cover zero, so the safeties were down. It was pretty much just one-on-one. He made a great move, and he was wide open. Just gave him a chance to get the ball, and he made the play.
Zach, that Penn State defensive front is really tough. What was it like going against them, and how were you able to hang in there, and how were you guys able to get some offensive success against them?
Yeah, so they were good. Nassib, that dude's he's a man, but I think our offensive line really showed their character today. We had great preparation all week, and then we came today, and there were times where I felt a little bit of pressure, but in the end, like on that play, the throw to Austin, I had it all the time in the world. So they definitely showed up when the game was big.
Zach, there's been a little bit of a history of not doing well coming out of buys here lately. What was different this week? Were you guys even aware of that?
No, not really. I think we just treat every week the exact same. Bye week, I looked at it as an advantage. Another week of extra practice to prepare for this opponent. So we went into our bye, had a great week of practice. Came into this week, had another great week of practice, just preparing for Penn State, and now we're going to do the exact same thing next week against Purdue.
Zach, at what point did you know Clayton was out and you were in for the rest of the way?
I saw him stay down for a second. So I mean, I'm always ready. I'm always watching. I try to keep my focus in the game as much as I can, watching all the plays, so that when he comes off to the sideline, that I can tell him what I saw, be a good teammate as much as I can. So I saw him stay down. So I strapped up. I mean, put my helmet on.
Did you find out he wasn't going to come back into the game in the second half?
I guess I never really knew like the exact status of him throughout the game. But again, I just did what I could do, control what I can control.
Zach, Fitz talked about how kind of it's been a journey for you, and you staying involved and you staying invested hasn't been something he's done, hasn't been something McCall's done. It's been entirely on you. So what's that journey been like for you, competing for the job last year, coming and filling in for Trevor when he was hurt, and now leading this win?
Yeah, so I got the opportunity last year to play a game against Illinois. Obviously, last time I was sitting up here was that time, and I wasn't happy about the outcome. Today is obviously a little bit different. However, I still realize that today there were opportunities that I missed, and there were things we could have done we put ourselves in a situation to possibly lose, but we came out, and this kid here hit a game winner, so it was great.
Jack, in the second half when you're sitting on the sideline for so long, and while you're doing that, it seems like the game is slipping away from your team. As a kicker, do you feel that it's on you, and how does that affect? If so, how does that affect your mindset at the end of the game?
I mean, I was being reminded the entire time that the game is pretty much on me, and in my mind, I mean, if I made my field goals, it wasn't a good day for me. If I made my field goals and extra points, we would have been up by 6 at that point at the last field goal. And so it's on me to kind of right that.
When you say you're being reminded, does that mean you're just being reminded by what's happening on the field, or people are actually telling you?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, like people saying like it's gonna come down on you. Just like stay focused, respond, stuff like that.
Jack, was there a difference in the wind from the first half to the second half today?
Yes, but I couldn't tell you which way it was going because it was kind of swirling in there. It was just always changing, especially the start of the second half. I mean, it was bad all day, but yeah.
Justin's big day help you out as you were kind of trying to come in there and take over?
Yeah, that was huge. Having him to lean on as an offense as a whole is just a really big asset for us. I think we haven't been doing as well in the running game in the past few days. I mean, in the past few games. So having him be able to come back and respond and put up the numbers like he did today was definitely something that helped us get the W.
Jack, you like the ball in the middle of the field. Was Justin's Jack last run to set you up where you like to kick from?
Yes, Fitz came up to me with, I don't know however many seconds were left, but he said, "Do you want the ball in the left hash in the middle?" I said, "Well, I'd like the middle, but whatever you have." But but there was one more play, and then Justin got to the middle of the field, so that was a good thing.
Sorry, Jack, just one more technical question. Fitz said once they got to the 33, they were going to run the ball and just try and set you up. Was that something that you talked with him about before the game? Was that right before that drive? How did that come about?
That's something I kind of go through in pregame warm-up. I say, like, when I'm good from going this way, this direction, and the other side of the field also, as well. And that was just what I said in pregame.
Follow-up. You mentioned people coming over, talking to you, saying the game's going to be on you. Do you like that, or are you kind of a guy that would prefer to be left alone?
I don't mind. I mean, I knew it was going to come down to me, the whole time. It was a close game. The Big Ten games are always close, so you kind of just have to expect that.
Dean, what did the official tell you after that penalty?
He didn't say anything, actually. I mean, I didn't really talk to him after that. On that play, with the roar of the crowd and the adrenaline of the game, I heard a very late whistle as he was going down. So it's unfortunate, but I think we responded well in that drive, and it didn't kill us. So.
What about that Wildcat look gave the defense so much trouble?
Yeah, the first 2 times they ran it, I think they scored on us, but we made a game time adjustment on that, and then Nate Hall came in, made a great play in the 3rd and short, so that was a huge play for us.
Dean, there was that one sequence there, the 2 penalties in a row.
Yeah.
It kind of really pumped a lot of life into them. Could you guys feel that momentum shifting, and what do you kind of do to get back into the game?
Yeah, on those 2 penalties, we're not who we are as a defense. So after that touchdown, we came to the sideline, regrouped, settled down, and we just got back to what we do, and just playing physical, tough defense and playing smart and disciplined. So I think after that, we were calm and collected, and I think we responded well.
Justin, did you kind of feel any extra kind of need to step up when Clayton went down?
Yeah, anytime your starting quarterback goes down, everyone else has to step up. So I think Zach came in and did a great job, for not having as many ones reps as he probably needed. So to fill that situation. So I think he did a good job, and I think as an offense, collectively, we all stepped up when we needed to.
What's it like playing against the Penn State defensive line for you, even though you're not on the field at the same time? Does that change your process at all, knowing that they're really good?
Yeah, I think a little bit. Knowing the players I have up front. Coach Fitz said before the game that this game will be won in the trenches, and I think that we might have outplayed them today. I haven't watched the film yet, but I think that we played very physical, and we knew that we had to outplay their defense. I think that after it's all said and done, I think we did.
And what did you guys do to put Christian in an uncomfortable situation? It seemed like, especially in the first half, he really struggled. And then maybe what sort of adjustments did you have to make when they started those rollouts in the third?
Yeah, I think we just gave them different looks. You know, it wasn't like one thing we were doing. We just gave him different alignments and different blitzes. So just trying to keep him on his toes. And I think making that adjustment after they did more of the rollout stuff with him, I think just making the adjustments of how they're trying to use them or trying to use him. And I think that we adjusted well to it.
Justin, what's the feeling like when you have a game like this that almost got away and then you pulled it out at the end? Is it more exhilarating?
Obviously it's probably nicer just to. We should have just finished the game off, how we started, and we didn't. We won a close game. It's hard to win in the Big Ten, and we won. So that's really what's the most important thing is. But we do know that going forward, we have to be a lot better when we're up, of just stepping on their throat and enlarging the lead, and we didn't do that today. But it's a learning experience. It's always nice to learn from a win. So, yeah.
Justin, your touches have been noticeably down the last couple weeks. What do you think is most accounted for that, and what have you done to be able to stay focused through these last few weeks to be able to have the kind of game you had today?
Yeah, I think just, kind of the way the game's have been going. We haven't been doing very well on first downs, or we're backed up. We got to pass the ball a lot. So I think that contributed to it. And, you just got to keep moving forward. You can't look back all the time. There's nothing you can do about the past. You just got to keep fighting, keep playing. And I'm really proud of my O-line and the receivers blocking on the outside. And I think they did a really good job against a really good defense. So all credit goes to them. And I'm just really proud of the way we came out there when Clayton went down and got behind Zach and finished the game out.
Dean, how good is Barkley, and how tough was it to kind of try and slow him down?
Yeah, he's very athletic. Even just watching him on film, he can do some pretty dangerous stuff in the backfield, and he's very elusive. So I think at times he got away from us, but I think when it mattered, I think we stopped him.
Dean, Fitz mentioned that the gaps weren't being filled correctly when they first started running the Wildcat. Was that something that wasn't accounted for schematically, or did you guys know what to do and just weren't executing there?
I think it's more just execution. I think, honestly, we practiced that Wildcat formation they ran quite a bit in practice, and it's unfortunate we couldn't stop them the first two times they ran that, but I think when it mattered on third and short, I think we stepped up.
In that last drive, as a defense, offense has to punt. Is that kind of a situation you guys relish, being able to go out there and have the game?
Yeah, definitely. That's just a time when, it's usually a passing situation, and we got to lay our ears back and get after the quarterback. And I think that's what we did for a few minutes there.
Each of you comment on the range of emotions that you felt throughout the game, having a nice lead at the half and then seeing it disappear and then winning at the end. Dean, you first.
Yeah, this was just a very traditional Big Ten game right here. It was a four-quarter battle. We knew going in it was going to be a street fight, and it was just it came down to the final seconds, and I think that's exciting about the Big Ten in college football. And I think as competitors, we relish that opportunity to play in games like this.
Yeah, we haven't been in this situation in probably a month and a half, so I don't think we handled it extremely well, but I think we did respond to some adversity better than we have been the past few games. So just, going down a point and they got to, we're driving, we got to punt. They got to go on the field and get a stop. They did a great job. And then just having to go out there and win the game when it mattered, it was an awesome feeling. And knowing that you won when it wasn't easy, it's pretty cool. So I'm just really proud of our team as a whole.
Justin, this one's for you. Other than the circumstances of the game, did anything else change for you this week as far as making you more successful?
Bye week was nice, be going in there and being healthy. But I think we did everything pretty much the same, as far as practice and everything like that. I just think our mindset was a lot better today, and we went in there saying that we were going to run the ball and we were going to be successful, and it was even more important when Clayton went down. Even though Zach stepped in and did a great job, we have to establish a running game, and we did that today.
Important to the outcome of the game, but you had 2 or 3 really big runs, including one down to the 1-yard line. A little bit frustrating to not be able to punch it in there.
When it comes down to it, we scored on that drive. I think if we didn't score, I would have been a little bit more upset. But we scored on that drive, and at the end of the game, we had more points than they did. So that's really what matters.